Hello students. So we were solving problems on quadratic equations, that is finding the roots by factorization method, isn't it? And let's continue with the factorization method itself. Now in the previous video, we had solved problems, that is we were finding roots of the quadratic equation using factorization method in such a way that the factors were very small. The number were very small. Okay. Now we'll have a bigger number. How to find the factors of bigger number? That's what we're going to look into this video. Now, as usual, first we have to check whether it is in standard form, that is the decreasing orders of the powers. So here, as you can see, it is in the decreasing orders of the powers. So after this, let's find the value of A. So what's the value of A here? 1. And the value of B is 10. And the value of C is minus 1200. A is coefficient of x square, B is coefficient of x, and C is the constant term. Okay. After finding A, B, C, we have to multiply A and C, which comes out to be 1 into minus 1200. That is minus 1200. Okay. Now we have to find the factors of minus 1200. Okay. That is, if you multiply, you should get 1200. And since it is minus 1200, therefore we have to subtract the two numbers in order to get the B value, that is 10. Now in the previous problems, the number was very small. We were easily finding it, but here it is bit big, so we have to follow some other logic. So here what we are going to do is we are going to do prime factorization. What is this prime factorization? If you have watched the real numbers videos, you must know it. Otherwise, let's understand again what is prime factorization. Basically, factorization is expressing a given thing in product. Okay. Now I'm going to express this 1200 as product of prime numbers. That is why it is known as prime factorization. Okay. So let me do that. 1200. So let me use only prime numbers. So let me divide it 2 into 600. Isn't it? 2 6 are 12, 2 zeros are 2 zeros are. Again by 2, 2 3s are 2 zeros are 2 zeros are. If you have not understood the prime factorization, or what you can do is you can watch the real numbers video which is available, and that we have explained prime factorization in detail, so you can look into that. Again by 2, so it becomes 2 150s are 2 75s are. Now you cannot divide by 2 because 75 is an odd number. So let's start with 5. 5 3s are 3 1s are. Okay. Now here you got the prime factorization of 1200. That is, you got 4 2s and 2 5s and 1 3. Now here what you're going to do is you will make two groups. Okay. Out of these numbers that you have got, which I'm marking it. Okay. In this, you're going to make two groups. It is not necessary that both the groups should have same amount of numbers. You can have any amount of numbers in each group. That is, for example, I'll take all this 3 as one, all this 2s as one group, and all the other things 5 5 3 as another group. Okay. So let me multiply the 2s in the group. You get 16. And the other group, if you multiply the numbers, 5 into 5 is 25, 25 into 3 is 75. Now, if you multiply 16 into 75, definitely you will get 1200. But the other thing is, if I subtract it, will I get 10? No. So this group that we have formed is wrong. Okay. Like this, trial and error method. Okay. We have to follow the trial and error method. So let's try forming other group. Okay. Let's take this 2 5 and a 3. Okay, let me do it like this. This 2 5 and the 3. Okay, all this one group. Okay, so 2 5s are 10, 10 3s are 30. The other remaining things 5 2 2 2. So 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 5s are 40. Okay. The remaining numbers, whichever I have not encircled, I'm taking those as one group. So you're getting this 30 into 40 is obviously 1200. And if I subtract it, will I get 10? Yes. we will get 10. Okay, this is how by prime factorization we are going to find the factors. So the correct numbers are 40 and 30. Okay, and since we need plus 10, so it will be plus 40 minus 30. Okay, the first term as it is, x square as it is, instead of plus 10x we have to introduce these two things, that is 40x and minus 30x. Minus 1200 equal to 0. Here we're going to take common between the first two and the next two. So what is common? We don't have any numbers. Actually, it is 1, right? Between 1 and 40, what is common? 1. Between x square and x, it is x that is common. So if you take 1x as common, you will be left with x plus 40. And minus as it is, between 30 and 1200, it is obviously 30 is the highest number that divides both, meaning 30 is the common. So if I take 30 as common, what will be left out? X plus 30 into what gives you 1200? 30 into 40. Okay, equal to 0. And why did this become plus x plus 40? Because outside the bracket you got minus. So we have discussed the same thing in the previous video. Again, taking common, x plus 40 is common. The left out thing is x minus 30 equal to 0. So product of two things is 0 implies any one must be 0. That is x plus 40 should be 0 or x minus 30 should be 0, which implies x should be minus 40 or x should be plus 30. So this is how we find the factors. Okay. So similarly, let's solve one more problem. We have taken one more question. 4x square plus 68x minus 111 is equal to 0. So again, it is in the standard form. So let's find the value of a, b, c. So here a value is coefficient of x square, that is 4, and b value is coefficient of x, that is 68, and c value is the constant term, that is minus 111. The next step is we have to multiply a and c. So it is 4 into minus 111, which gives us 444, negative 444. Okay, so minus 444. So here if you multiply two numbers, you should get 444. At the same time, if you subtract it, why subtraction? Because it is negative, isn't it? Minus 444. So if you subtract it, you should get 68. This is not easy, right? So finding two numbers where you multiply, you should get 444. That itself is a bit difficult. And you have to find those numbers in such a way that if you subtract it, you should get 68. So it's a bit tough. For this, we are going to use prime factorization. Okay. So what is prime factorization? Expressing 444 as product of primes. Okay. So let's take 444. It's an even number because the last digit is even. So let's start with 2. So 2 2s are 4, 2 2s are 4, 2 2s are 4. Again, 212 is an even number. So let's start with 2 itself. 2 1s are 2, 2 1s are 2, 2 1s are 2. Now 111 is an odd number. So you cannot divide it by 2. So after 2, which is the prime number? 3. Okay. Is this divisible by 3? Yes. Use the divisibility rule for 111. What is the divisibility rule for 3? You got 111, add all the digits, 1 plus 1 plus 1, you get 3. This number is divisible by 3, therefore the entire number is divisible, isn't it? So you must be knowing the divisibility rule. Let me say the divisibility rule again. For example, suppose you got 567. You want to check whether it is divisible by 3 or not. Add all the digits, 5 plus 6 plus 7. 5 plus 6 is 11, 11 plus 7 is 18. The answer that you get, is it divisible by 3? Yes, 18 is divisible by 3. Therefore, the entire number 567 is also divisible by 3. Okay. So this is divisible by 3. So let's divide it. 3 3s are 9. 2 carry, it becomes 21. 3 7s are 21. Okay. 37 itself is a prime number. You must be knowing that. So 37 ones are 37. Okay. Therefore, we have prime factorized it. Here we have to make groups. Okay. So let's say I'll take all this 2, 2, 3 as one group, 37 as the another group. So multiply all the numbers in this first group. 2 2s are 4, 4 3s are 12, and 37 is the other group. Okay. If you multiply, you will get 444. But if you subtract it, will you get 68? No. Okay. So let's select another way. Let's take this 37 and 3 as one group, 2 and 2 as another group. Okay. 2 2s are 4, 37, 3s are. It will become 111. So if you multiply 4 into 111, you will get 444. But if you subtract it, will you get 68? No. So this group is also not correct for the required answer. Okay, so let's try some other different group. Let's say I will take this 2 and 37 as one group. Okay, 2 and 3 as another group, these two as one group. Okay, so 2 into 37 gives you 74, 2 into 3 gives you 6. If I multiply, I'll get definitely 444, but if I subtract it, will I get 68? Definitely we will get 68. Therefore the correct numbers are 74 and 6. Okay, so let's write it. The correct numbers are 74 and 6. Now you need positive 68. Therefore, it should be plus 74 minus 6. Okay. So the first term as it is, next step 4x square. Instead of plus 68, we have to introduce these two numbers. That is 74 with an x, minus 6 with an x, and the last term as it is, minus 111 equal to 0. Now you have to take common between the first two and the next two. 4 and 74. Which is the highest number that divides 4 and 74? It is actually 4 itself, isn't it? So you can take 4 as common. Between x square and x is common. So what is left out? X plus 4 into what gives you 74? 4 into 16, isn't it? I'm sorry, 4. Okay, you cannot take 4 as common. I'm sorry, isn't it? 74 is not divisible by 4. 4 ones are 4, 3 carry, it becomes 34. Yeah, it is not divisible. So you cannot take 4 as common. I'm sorry about that. So if 4 is not dividing both, then it should be 2, right? 2x is common. So if I take 2x as common, 2 into what gives me 4? 2 2s are. X into x gives me x square plus 2 into what gives me 74? 2 into 37 gives me 74. X we have already taken commons, so no problem. Next, between minus 6 and minus 11, which is the number that divides both? It is actually 3. Okay, or how did I get to know it is 3? Because here inside the bracket, the first thing that I have to get is 2, because here the first thing is 2, isn't it? So both the brackets should be same, right? So here you got 2x, here also you should have 2x, which means 3 into what gives you, sorry, what into 2 gives you 6, or you just simply divide the 6 by 2. It is 3. Okay, minus 3 is common. So here you will be left with 37 equal to 0. Both the brackets, let me repeat this again. See, whatever sign is there, let's retain it as it is, minus. Now, between 6 and 111, what is common? It is 3 actually that we have to take common. Okay, but it might be a bit difficult. But there is a small hint. Inside this bracket, we have got 2x. So here also we have to get 2x. Okay. So, but here we have got 6x. So 2 into what gives me 6? 2 into 3. That's how we get to know it is 3. Okay. So if I take 3 as common, whatever is inside the bracket, the same thing comes here. Okay. Equal to 0. Now the 2x plus 37, 2x plus 37. Let's take common. 2x plus 37. The left out thing is 2x minus 3 equal to 0. Therefore, if a into b is 0, implies 2x plus 37 should be equal to 0, or 2x minus 3 should be equal to 0, which implies 2x should be equal to minus 37, or x should be equal to minus 37 by 2, or here 2x should be equal to 3, or x should be equal to 3 by 2. So therefore the roots are x is minus 37 by 2, or x is 3 by 2. So it is almost the same thing what we did in the previous video. But here, when you got a big number, very, very big number, we have to use prime factorization to find the factors. So again, we have taken a quadratic equation here. Now, if you observe, the difference between the previous question and this question is, we have got a fraction here or a rational number here, 1 by 8. Now, all the previous problem that we have solved, we had integers, isn't it? The value of a, b, c, the coefficient of x square, the coefficient of x, and the constant term were integers. So it was a bit easy to solve. But here we have got a rational number or a fraction. So it's a bit difficult. We can solve it, but it is a bit difficult. So which is giving us more trouble here? It is actually this 8, isn't it? If this was not there, we could have easily solved it. So what we are going to do is, we are going to eliminate this 8. How do we eliminate it? I'm going to multiply throughout by 8 so that this 8 gets cancelled. Okay. So let me multiply throughout by 8. So solution, let me take the question again. 2x square minus x plus 1 by 8 equal to 0. So the next step, multiply throughout by 8. So what happens? 8 into 2x square minus 8 into x plus 8 into 1 by 8 equal to 8 into 0. I'm multiplying each term by 8. So 8 into 2x square will become 16x square, isn't it? So this will become 16x square minus 8x. 8 and 8 gets cancelled. So we'll be left with 1. 8 into 0 is 0. Here now let's find the value of a. The value of a is 16 and the value of b is minus 8 and the value of c is 1. So multiply a and c. So it will become 16 into 1. That is 16, isn't it? So a into c will give us 16. Now we have to find two numbers in such a way that if you multiply, you should get 16, and if you add, you should get 8. Okay. So it should be 4 fours, isn't it? If I multiply, I'll get 16. If I add it, I'll get 8. 4 fours are 16. Since we have to get minus 8, minus 4 and minus 4 will be the correct one. Okay. So the first term as it is, 16x square as it is. Instead of minus 8x, these two numbers, minus 4x plus 1 equal to 0. Between the first two things, we have to take common. Between 16 and 4, what is common? 4. Between x square and x, it is x. So what will be left out? 4 into what gives us 16? 4 into 4. X into x gives us x square minus. We have already taken this 4x as common. So we'll be left with 1. Now minus as it is. Between 4 and 1, 1 is the common. So you will be left with 4x. This plus will change to minus because here we have got minus outside the bracket. So that we get the same thing. 4x minus 1, 4x minus 1. So it will become 4x minus 1. The left out thing is also 4x minus 1 equal to 0. So which implies 4x minus 1 equal to 0, or again the same thing, 4x minus 1 equal to 0. So which implies 4x is equal to 1, which implies 4x is equal to 1, or same thing, 4x is equal to 1. So which implies x is 1 by 4 or x is 1 by 4. So we have got the roots. Both the roots are 1 by 4 and 1 by 4. Okay. So let's solve another question. So the next question, we have to find the roots of the equation x plus 1 by x equal to 3 and x should not be equal to 0. It is very obvious that x should not be equal to 0 because x is in the denominator. We cannot have the denominator as 0. Okay. Now, basically, this is not at all a quadratic equation right now, isn't it? Because as you can see, the highest power is not 2. So this is not a quadratic equation. But if we do some circles over here or some simplifications over here, we will get a quadratic equation. Okay. So this x plus 1 by x equal to 3. Let me take LCM. This x can be written as x by 1. What is the LCM of 1 and x? It is x itself. Or let me use the shortcut method. What is the shortcut method? You can use it only for two terms. Okay, we have got two terms here, x by 1 and 1 by x. The step is very, very easy. The method is very easy. Just multiply the denominator. 1 into x, x. Multiply the denominator. 1 into x, x. Then crisscross. Like this. Crisscross. X into x, x square. 1 into 1, 1. Equal to 3. Very simple one. Now transpose this x to the other side. The one which is in the denominator. X square plus 1 is equal to 3. It is in division. If it goes outside, it will become multiplication. So we get x square plus 1 equal to 3x. Therefore, x square plus 1, 3x the other side will become minus 3x equal to 0. Now, let's arrange it in the standard form. That is, after x square, we should have 3x, then the constant number. That is decreasing orders of powers, isn't it? So now let's solve this. Let me draw a line here. Let me continue here itself. So what we have got is the equation, quadratic equation that we have got is x square minus 3x plus 1 equal to 0. Now let's find the value of a, which is 1. The value of b is minus 3 and the value of c is 1. So if I multiply 1 into 1, we get 1 itself, isn't it? So a into c is 1 itself. Now, coming to this, if you multiply two numbers, you should get 1. And if you add them, it is plus 1, right? If you add them, you should get 3. Is there any such number as such? No, isn't it? You won't get it. Then we cannot solve all the problems by factorization method, isn't it? That's what we are understanding in this problem. See, what is a value? 1, b value is minus 3, c value is 1. So what is the next step? Multiply a and c. We got 1. What is the procedure? If you multiply two numbers, you have to get 1. And if you add them, you have to get 3. Is there any possibility? No. So we have understood that all the problems cannot be solved by factorization method. So therefore, we need some other method to solve these problems. Okay. So whenever factorization method is not possible, we are going to solve by something called as formula method or completing the square method. Okay. Now I'll start with completing the square method. Then we'll move on to formula method. This completing the square method is the foundation for the formula that we are going to get in the later section. Okay. You must be knowing there is a formula for the quadratic equation to find the roots of quadratic equation. That is actually calculated using the help of completing the square method. Okay. Now let's see the rules for completing the square method. As you can see, I've written the rules for completing the square method. In completing the square method, there are different ways that you can solve, but I feel this is easy. So I'm going to teach this. So the first step is always to check the coefficient of x square. If the coefficient of x square is 1, no problem. If the coefficient of x square is not 1, then we have to make the coefficient of x square as 1. That is our first step. Okay. We have to make the coefficient of x square as 1 if it is not 1. Okay. Then we have to find the value of b and b square. What is this b? B is coefficient of x divided by 2. Okay. What is b? It is coefficient of x divided by 2. So once you get b, if you square it, you will get b square. Okay. These are the major two steps that you have to follow. Okay. Here, the coefficient of x square is 1. So no problem. It is already 1. If it was not 1, we had to make it 1. Okay, let's see in the next problem. Let's take such question where the coefficient of x square is not 1, and let's see how to make it 1. Okay. Now the next step is to find b. What is b? B is coefficient of x, that is 3. We need not take the sign, we will just concentrate on the number. The coefficient of x is 3 divided by 2, isn't it? How do we find b? Coefficient of x, that is 3 divided by 2. So b square will become 9 by 4. If you square it, it will become 9 by 4. Okay. So let me rewrite the question again. 1x square minus 3x plus 1 equal to 0. This is the question. In the next step, instead of x square, we'll just take x. Okay. That is the next step. Instead of x square, we'll just take x. The sign minus sign as it is. Now, whatever b value that we have got, let's write it the whole square. Okay, let me tell the step again. Instead of x square, what do we take? We take only x, whatever sign is there, write it minus. Next is b value, that is 3 by 2 the whole square. Okay, and after this it is always minus. Okay, it is always minus. Inside the bracket, whatever sign was here, will retain that itself. If it is minus, we'll write minus. If it is plus, we'll write plus. But outside the bracket, it is always minus. Remember that. Okay. And b square values 9 by 4. And after that, the last term, c value 1 as it is. Okay. This is the next step. Actually, what we are trying to do is, we are trying to get it in the form of a plus b whole square or a minus b whole square. That is what we are trying to do it. That is why we are finding this b and doing this procedure. Okay. I'm not going to go in depth about this procedure that I'm doing. Just understand the procedure. Later we'll get to know why we are doing like this. Okay. Right now, just concentrate on the method. Some of you might be having doubt, why should we take only x instead of x square, isn't it? And why should we write the value of b? You will have so many doubts. Let me clear the doubts after this problem. Now just concentrate on the steps that I am following. Okay. So after this, we will take the numbers to the other side. That is x minus 3 by 2 whole square minus 9 by 4 and plus 1 to the other side. Minus 9 by 4, the other side will become plus 9 by 4. Plus 1 to the other side will become minus 1. Okay. So here what we have got is x minus 3 by 2 the whole square equals, this 1 can be written as 1 by 1. So if you take LCM, it will become 9 minus 4 by 4. Okay. Therefore, it will become x minus 3 by 2 the whole square, which is 5 by 4. So x minus 3 by 2 will become, I'm getting the square to the other side. So it will become plus or minus square root of 5 by 4. So x minus 3 by 2 plus or minus square root of 5 is root 5 itself. Square root of 4 is 2. So there are two possibilities here. X minus 3 by 2 is equal to plus root 5 by 2, or x minus 3 by 2 is equal to minus root 5 by 2. Okay. Therefore, x is equal to minus 3 by 2. The other side will become plus 3 by 2 plus root 5 by 2. So the denominators are same. Therefore, we can write it as 3 plus root 5 by 2. Okay. Or again here minus 3 by 2. The other side will become plus 3 by 2 minus root 5 by 2. Therefore, you can write it as 3 minus root 5 by 2. So these are the two roots of the quadratic equation. Okay. Let's understand the procedure. Then let's discuss why we are doing like this. Okay. So the first step is to check whether the coefficient of x square is 1. If not, we have to make it 1. So here in this question, the coefficient of x square is 1. So no problem. After that, we have to find b value. What is b value? Coefficient of x divided by 2. Then once we get b, we'll also get b square. Okay. And after that, the next step is, instead of x square, we'll write only x. Then whatever sign is there, we'll retain it. And the next thing is, we will write b value. X minus b value. I can also write this as a procedure itself. Okay, let me write it as a rule itself. x plus or minus. If it is plus, we'll write plus. If it is minus, we'll write minus. B value, the whole square, it is always minus b square plus the constant c equal to 0. This is the procedure. Okay. So here, as you can see, instead of x square, we have written x. Here we had minus, so we have written minus. The next step is to write the b value, that is 3 by 2, the whole square, and it is always minus. Okay, minus b square value plus the c value. C value was 1. Okay. So let me erase this. Okay. Now after that, we'll send those two numbers the other side, minus 9 by 4 and plus 1 to the other side, and we'll simplify it. We'll get a fraction or a rational number, whatever, and we'll send the square to the other side. It will become square root. There we'll get two possibilities. Therefore, we'll get the two values of x. Okay. So this is the procedure. Let's take one more problem. Let's understand the method. Then we'll do it. I mean, we'll understand why we are doing like this. Okay. First, let's solve one more problem. So we have taken one more problem. Let's solve it by completing the square method. So the first step is always to make the coefficient of x square is 1. Here the coefficient of x square is 2. So we have to make it 1. How do we make it 1? We'll just divide by the number. So here the coefficient of x square is 2. So let's divide by 2. Okay. So we have got 2x square minus 3x minus 20 equal to 0. Let's divide throughout by 2. So therefore we get what? 2x square by 2 minus 3x by 2 minus 20 by 2 equals 0 by 2. Okay. So 2 by 2 gets cancelled. So we'll be left with x square. Now the coefficient is 1. Minus 3 by 2 x minus 20 by 2 is 10. 0 by 2 is 0. Okay. Here, as you can see, we have made the coefficient of x square as 1. What is the next step? The next step is to find the value of b. How do we find b? Coefficient of x. Here the coefficient of x is minus 3 by 2 divided by 2. This 2 can be written as 2 by 1. Therefore, this will become minus 3 by 2 into reciprocal 1 by 2, which becomes minus 3 by 4. Okay. So b value is minus 3 by 4 implies b square will become 9 by 16. Remember, you have to find the value of b after making the coefficient of x square as 1, not before that. Okay. Yeah. Now the next step is, instead of x square, we'll write x. The sign as it is, minus as it is. Now we have to write the value of b. B is, okay, we made a small mistake. We had taken minus here. Let's not take the sign here. Okay. Let's not take the sign. Let's take only the number. Okay. So it becomes x minus, the b value is 3 by 4, the whole square. Always it is minus b square value, that is 9 by 16, and the constant minus 10 as it is. Okay. So x minus 3 by 4 the whole square. The other numbers the other side. Minus 9 by 16. If it comes to RHS, it become plus 9 by 16. Plus minus 10 to the other side will become plus 10. We have to take LCM. So the LCM will be 16 itself. So x minus 3 by 4 the whole square equals, the LCM is 16. So it will become 9 plus 160. Okay. If you take LCM, let me continue here. So it becomes x minus 3 by 4 the whole square equals 169 by 16. Therefore, x minus 3 by 4 the whole square, or let me take the square that side, it will become plus or minus square root of 169 by 4, which implies x minus 3 by 4 is equal to plus or minus 13 by 2. Therefore, there are two possibilities. X minus 3 by 4 is equal to plus 13 by 2, or x minus 3 by 4 is equal to minus 13 by 2. So minus 3 by 4 to the other side, x will become 3 by 4 plus 13 by 2. or x will become 3 by 4 minus 13 by 2. Okay, therefore x is, if we take LCM, it will become 29 by 2 or 29 by 4 if we take LCM, and here it will become minus 23 by 2. Okay, so these are the values of x. Okay, we have made one small mistake. Yeah, I found that. So here we have made a small mistake. I'm sorry about that. It is 169 by 16. So here it should be 16. Therefore, this becomes 4. This becomes 4. 13 by 4. 13 by 4. So it becomes 26 by 4. The same thing here. So it becomes minus 10 by 2, which is minus 5, or 4 ones are 4. Okay, once again, minus that. Okay, it becomes 16. Yeah, 16 by 4. 4 ones are 4 fours are. Therefore, x is 4 or x is minus 5. We made a bit mistake, otherwise it is correct. Yeah, so I hope you have understood the procedure. Now let's understand why did we do like this. Okay, so the procedure that we did, the steps, let's take a problem, let's understand. So let's take the previous question itself. So it was 2x square minus 8x minus 8x plus, sorry, minus 20 equal to 0. Okay, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get either in the form of a plus b whole square or a minus b whole square. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so for that, if you observe, if I make this 2 as 1, therefore I've got my a square. Okay, so 1x square is nothing but x square is it itself, isn't it? So if I make this 2 as 1, so I'll get it like this, isn't it? Whatever, divided by 2, it becomes 4x minus 20. Okay, the question was 3. Let me take that itself. Okay, minus 20 by 2, that becomes 10. Okay, this is what we did in the first step, right? We made the coefficient of x square as 1. Why did we make the coefficient of x square as 1? So that I'll get my a square very easily. Here, if you observe, this x square is like a square. So I got to know that my a is x. Okay. And next step that we found was b, which is coefficient of x divided by 2. Why did we do like this? Because a plus b whole square or a minus b whole square, it is a square plus b square plus 2ab or a square plus b square minus 2ab, isn't it? If you observe 2ab, okay. Now, if you want to find b, then, or let me take this problem itself. Let me take it like this. You got to know that a is x, therefore a plus b the whole square can be written as x plus b the whole square, isn't it? Because you got to know that a is x. So expanding this, x square plus 2xb plus b square. Now comparing with the question, x square minus 3 by 2x plus b square. If you observe, if I compare these two things, I can easily find the value of b. Okay, so let's compare it. 2xb is equal to 3 by 2x. Okay, so x and x gets cancelled. Therefore, b will become 3 by 2 by 2. It is like, what is this 3 by 2? It is coefficient of x, isn't it? That's what we had it here. And we divided by 2. So that is why in finding the value of b, we did it like this. Okay. Okay, so we got to the value of b. So that is b is 3 by 2 divided by 2, which is 4. Okay. So we also got to know the value of a, that is x. We got to know the value of b, that is 3 by 4. Now, according to the formula, it should be b square. What is b square? 3 by 4, the whole square. 3 by 4, the whole square is 9 by 16. Do we have 9 by 16 in the question? No, we don't have 9 by 16. So what we'll do is, we'll add 9 by 16. Since we are adding, we should also subtract. See, the previous thing doesn't affect, isn't it? Plus 9 by 16 minus 9 by 16 gets cancelled and we get back the same thing, right? So we can add and subtract. It doesn't affect anything. So here what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make a group. X square minus 3 by 2x and 9 by 16 plus 9 by 16 as one group. And the remaining thing, minus 10 and minus 9 by 16 as another group. Now, if you observe what I've written here, it is actually in the form of a square minus 2ab plus b square. See, what was our a value? X. And what was our b value? 3 by 2. So if I use x plus 3 by 2 the whole square, or let's say x minus 3 by 2. X minus 3 by 2 the whole square, it becomes what? X square, that is a square minus 2ab, b was 3 by 4, 2ab plus b square. 2 ones are 2 twos are. So what we have got is x square minus 3x by 2 plus 9 by 16. So this entire thing is in the form of a minus b whole square. So let's write it as a minus b the whole square. Okay, minus 10 minus 9 by 16. If you remember, we skipped these two steps completely and we got into this step directly. Okay, what did we do? Instead of x square, we wrote x minus whatever was the b value, the whole square, and it is always minus b square value 9 by 16 and the constant term, isn't it? We got it here, isn't it? So the actual procedure is, in simple words, we are trying to get it in the form of a plus b whole square or a minus b whole square. If the coefficient of x square is 1, okay, you can directly say that a is x. That is why we make the coefficient of x square as 1. And on comparing, we got to know that, just observe this one and the bottom one. On comparing, we got to know that b value is coefficient of x, that is 3 by 2 divided by 2. That's why we always do it like that. Okay. So the procedure is to get in the form of a plus b whole square or a minus b whole square. That is why we do such things. I hope you have understood at least the method of solving completing the square. In the next video, we'll start with the formula method. Thank you, students.